Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video over on Ark Survival Ascended, and I wanted to show you right now my top 20 plus mods. Some of them are kind of in a little mini pack, so I'm going to go ahead and show you all of them. Basic levels on how to use them and the things you have to download. I'm just going to kind of show you a brief overview of these. So we're going to go back to the actual main menu to show you the mod locations, and we're going to kind of go through all of it. So now, obviously, I've got a ton of mods. I play mods pretty much exclusively because they make this game fun. Unlike some of the official servers, these can actually make your game fun. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and show you mine from my favorite kind of, there's not necessarily a best order, but this is one of my favorites overall, Automated Ark. Now, if you haven't already played Automated Ark, I don't know why you haven't, but it is basically by far the most unique mod that exists right now because it essentially takes a whole bunch of generic vanilla structures and makes them better in every way. It gives you all kinds of special abilities. You can see that you've got a literally you can control your base using a console. You've got a special chem bench, mortar and pestle, grinder, indie forge, and there's just a list. And he's continuing to update this on a really regular basis, adding more and more stuff. You can see all of this sorts of stuff being added into it, and it just basically makes your game so much smoother, especially if you're playing on an unofficial or a solo player server. This takes all of that shenanigans grind out of it. Now, some people love the grind and placing individual things into individual areas instead of like pulling resources and doing all kinds of neat stuff like that. This mod as a whole is by far one of the best mods that exist in the game because it lets you do anything from PvP based stuff to PvE based things. There's a reason that it has 3.4 million people that have installed this mod. It's absolutely one of the biggest game-changing mods in the game. Now, similar to that, this one is actually one of my favorites as well. It's, let's see if it's going to show up. Yep, there it is. Paleori's, I don't know if I'm saying the name properly. Paleori's Cryo Storage, because they screwed over cryopods in general. This mod is a lifesaver. It essentially gives you the ability to turn on and customize cryopods to what you want them to do. If you haven't seen my video on how to customize the mod INI files for solo player unofficial, check it out, and you can actually customize everything. But this allows you to do a whole bunch of stuff, and it adds in some unique features. Now, it adds in a cryo fridge that's going to give you a little bit of a buffed area for the cryo fridge. And you're going to actually get a cryo terminal as well, which is a huge advantage because it'll actually cryo up your babies as soon as they hatch, which is a huge thing, especially if you like to go through me like thousands of tames at a time. And then it also adds in a very useful cryo gun. So you can essentially like pull your tames from a distance instead of having to walk up and instantly cryopod them. This mod as a whole is another one of those mods where you're like, okay, it makes sense why it's got 3.4 million installs because it's one of the best mods in the game. Now, next on our list is another one of the most popular ones, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to total installs, and it's actually number 3, I think, on this list. Yep, there it is, Super Spyglass Plus. Now, this is one of the mods that existed in Ark Survival Evolved, and it kind of got transferred over into Ark Survival Ascended, and it is an amazing mod. Basically gives you a ton of special abilities, anything from rolling out the points and showing you what the points are, highlighting tames, telling you exactly, you can see it right now, whether an egg's going to hatch or not. There's a whole bunch of additions to it, and it gives you exactly what a dino needs to eat. Now you can see this is a zoomed in picture, but it gives you a whole bunch of unique things, anything from structure, health, to the actual individual requirements of a tame and what stats they have. And it gives you a really unique admin thing inside the game that you can use that'll give you the ability to customize it if you want some of the less features, as well as an individual customize area where you can actually change the size of things, which makes a mod like this so freaking useful. And you can see, you can actually zoom in on item caches as well to see what's inside of stuff. So another one of those mods that just makes the game so much more playable and so much more fun to give you access to stuff like this. Now, that is on our list. Now, I'm going to start getting into some mods that are less used, but still very popular, and some of my favorites, right? Now, the Solo Farm mod, with 1.5 million downloads, it's still incredibly valuable. However, essentially what this mod allows you to do, it allows you to select individual things if you're playing solo or if you're harvesting solo. And it's going to let you gather resources at a much better rate. Now, it's also going to drop the things that you don't want. So if you're going to harvest metal or, let's say, element, for example, It's going to automatically harvest those with whatever tame you're using, and it's going to drop everything else, saving you a ton of time in the inventory. Now, it's also going to cause your tames to automatically swing, and you can see right here, and it's just going to give you like, hey, farm modes, all kinds of stuff. And it's going to give you a massive ability to increase your quality of life gameplay on solo player or unofficial player servers. I promise you, this is one of those mods that is 100% worth the wait. And I would 100% check it out. Solo farm mod makes your game so much nicer. Now, another one of the mods, and I've actually talked to some of the people that are working on this one as well, Draconic Chronicles. Now, another one of those, I just updated this, I swear, like 10 minutes ago. They are releasing constant updates for this, but this adds one of those true changing the gameplay of Ark kind of mods. Almost 1 million installs exist on this thing, which is kind of crazy. You can see that that's one of their special creatures, but essentially it adds in dragons and wyverns to your game. I know they have 4 custom models right now with custom dragons. And then it also adds in your generic wyverns, your crystal wyverns, and all of those. So it kind of rewrites everything on how you actually play the game. And I love when they add in mods like, or people have mods like this, because it just changes how the game works. And I like when it does that. Now, I also like having unique creatures like this. I would say you probably have to turn down the number of wyverns that spawn a little bit because they spawn all over the place. But it basically turns it into a true dragon world, if you want to think of it that way, and it's really, really cool to be able to play on it. Now, the next mod on my list, I know I've covered this mod millions of times. If you haven't played this mod, it is by far one of the best mods that has ever existed since almost the beginning of Ark, and that is Shiny Dinos. Now, Shiny Dinos essentially is a mod that you can download, and the Shiny Dinos thing will basically, it's not overpowered, it's going to cause random dinos around the entire map to spawn in. Now, when they do spawn in, they're going to spawn in with special abilities. Now, those abilities could be anything from being pretty in pink, to carrying extra weight, to having bonus levels, to being on fire, to being iced. It doesn't add them into their hundreds of levels. It's only a 10% level boost unless you change it in your overall settings. So these things, not only are they not game breaking, so they can be used for PvP, but they are also super fun because they turn into something that you want to chase down and you want to look around the map for. So Shiny Dinos is one of my favorite mods, and you definitely have to check it out. Now, another one, I will admit, this one carries a little bit of, how do I say this? A little bit of caution with this one because they are constantly releasing updates. This mod, Dinosaur Discovery, is one of my favorites in the game. Now, because they are constantly releasing updates, it's not really super optimized, I think is a good way to put it. But they've essentially added in all of the old tames from Ark Survival Evolved and placed them onto the island in random locations. Now, you can go to their actual Discord server. You can see they added in a Reaper. They've added in literally, I mean, you can see a list right here. I'll read it off. Some of the tames like rock elementals, ice elementals, Giganotosauruses that are tech mode, Techmosas, Wyverns, Magmasaur, Gasbag, Astrocetus, Astrodelphus, Dinopithecus. And you can see that the Astrocetus and Astrodelphus are actually water-based, so that's kind of cool. And the Desmodus, Bolonosaur, Reapers, everything that you can imagine is updated added into the Dinosaur Discovery. Sometimes it kind of causes problems because of the lag spikes that can cause, but still amazing mod overall. And they added in a whole bunch of structures too, from whips, chainsaws, tech swords, tech canteens, cluster grenades. A lot of the old missing things from Ark have been added into Dinosaur Discovery, and it's a fantastic mod for that purpose. If you want to play the island but still get a unique perspective and outlook on it, check out Dinosaur Discovery. It's a lot of fun. Now, another one of those mods that have existed for a while, because this person that made Structures Plus, which is arguably one of the best mods of all time, went over and joined the actual wildcard team. Now, QOL Plus is the updated version of that, so it brings you all of the if you know what Structures Plus is, it brings you the Structures Plus mods in, plus the tech. Some of the tech things are starting to get ported over as well. You can see there's tons of updated things that you can do, but you've got mutators, you've got the ability to pull resources like I'm showing you right here that you can see. And there's a whole bunch of really awesome things that are added by the QOL Plus mod. Now, I don't know why there's only 232K installs, but it's by far probably the best overall structures mod that exists in the game, in my opinion, right now. So definitely check out QOL Plus. Now, Another one that's always on my list is the Imbue and Upgrade Station. I swear I just updated this. But the Imbue and Upgrade Station essentially gives you the ability to boost your individual pieces of armor to make your stats go higher. Now, the reason I love this mod is because it kind of turns it into an MMO style of specialized armor and specialized classes and specialized things. And again, the point of playing mods is to make your Ark what you want it to be. Do not let someone tell you this is what you should do in Ark. This is how you blah, 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 right? You need to make Ark what you want it to be. Now, this adds, in my opinion, a cool MMO style, really good for PvE maps, less so good for PvP, because it's going to give you the ability to actually add stats, and some people can get really broken stats. So just keep that in mind. Can be a little bit overpowered. But again, a fantastic mod, especially if you're playing solo player and that doesn't matter at all, or unofficial. These are fantastic mods. Imbue Station is amazing. Love adding it. Now, if you haven't talked to Gaia Danny is amazing, but Gaia has a total of 2 pages of mods for Ark Survival Ascended, and I promise you, all of these are amazing. Now, on the front page, obviously, you have the 10 plus the 14 total mods for Gaia. Now, all of them are things that you can add, and they're small little pieces, and some of them are getting bigger and bigger, and I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second here. But you can see this guy right here already has 605,000 installs. The potions is amazing. No fall damage, self-explanatory. Commands are nice because they give you a admin side of thing. Collectors are amazing because they give you the ability. You can see they auto collecting structures, that eggs, poop, compost, all kinds of neat things. It's a congregation of mods that's amazing. Then you've got the essentials. This one's really cool because you can actually see that you the starter pack, it just gives you like little boosts when you respawn. The caves teleporter, super cool, allows you to teleport to caves. Crop plots, updated crop plots. Storage is specialized storage. Fishery gives you the ability to place down clams to get black pearls, very difficult to get. Oil, and then a whole bunch of other essential stuffs. And you can actually do an admin user interface to adjust all of these different things. It's just an amazing mod. Now, Spyglass, another one. There are better Spyglasses, but this is a great Spyglass overall. And you can kind of use it, and obviously you can see, so you can tailor the Spyglass to your preferences, and then you can actually change a few basic things. However, where I really enjoy this thing is he's got utility tames that he just came out with pretty recently. You can see it was last updated on 12.23, but this essentially gives you the ability to, and there will be a bigger overall, by the way, mod that he releases. I think he's calling it Gaia 9 Realms, but it's going to have all of this and so much more. So learning some of this right now will change the overhaul of Ark. But yeah, Gaia Danny's got some really cool stuff coming out. Definitely keep an eye on it. And yeah, he's got some really neat stuff that he releases, and all 14 of these are awesome mods that you should for sure check out. Oops, accidentally backed out. So that's the Gaia. Now, a few more just quality of life things that are just fun to add into your game. Seed Farm is next on my list. I don't know, I swear I just updated this. Seed Farm is a really cool mod because it essentially gives you the ability to fight things and change how you actually play the game of Ark, allowing you to grow resources. And you can see preserves up to 10,000 more seeds, rare flower, mushrooms, eggs, all kinds of stuff. And then each one of these things you can see that will allow you to basically unlock next levels. And I like when you can unlock the next levels and build things as you go. But it used to be in the last Ark where you'd have to fight bosses, and I'm sure they'll add that kind of stuff in. But right now it's kind of just a way to grow the resources in Ark in small levels, or if you want to make a massive farm of these things, you can have a self-growing, because towards the end, you don't want to go out and harvest resources. That's like my least favorite thing. Early game, I enjoy it because it feels like you're accomplishing something. Late game, it feels like you're harvesting for days, if not hours at a time. And it's so frustrating. So just be aware of that. Seed Farm changes that up just a little bit. Now, this one's a quick one. Now, this one is the Death Discovery mod. Why did I say Death Discovery? Wow, Death Recovery mod. Whoops. Death Recovery. I like this one the most, 221,000. Now, what I will tell you is this one can be a little bit buggy, but in combination or using them apart, Death Inventory Keeper, don't use them together, but this one is very similar. Basically, just when you die, it just causes everything to be kept on your inventory and allows you, so any of these mods really are just fine. As long as it's like 100K plus Death Recovery, cross-platform Death Recovery mod, and then the Death Inventory, definitely check out one of those, because if you're playing on a solo player or unofficial server, it's really frustrating when you have to go back to get your stuff. And usually it's just a pain. It's not like you're going to lose it because you just have to go back and grab it. But it's a really great thing to be able to keep all of your stuff. Now, last on my list, but certainly not least, is Svartalfheim. Now, if you haven't seen Svartalfheim, this mod by itself is an amazing mod. You can see that this is a whole, I mean, this is a terrible picture because it's so much prettier than this, but this is a massive map that the Nekatis, the actual author for this, is a fantastic mod author that goes through and regularly makes this map more and more playable. Now, he's got a PC version and a crossplay version that releases a little bit slower, but it's got anything from customized caves to creatures to literal NPCs that run around, dwarven people. And they, yeah, they're really, really cool. You can see he's got 60% complete on the map, but it's he has a lot more into the Svartalfheim because it takes a little bit of, if I say this, it's a little more difficult to update the consoles than it is PC, so that's why he updates the PC version faster. But he's got a whole unique setup, so definitely check out Svartalfheim if you're getting annoyed with the island or just maps in general. It's 100% worth your time. So anyways, hopefully this video helps you out, and if you don't mind, there's a ton of mods here. Smack that like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm, and then consider subbing the channel for some more Ark content. All right, teach.